All right, folks, welcome back. We are back with the series. We're going to do the running backs this time. In case you missed it, you can check out the video on my channel. I went through all the quarterbacks, ranked them, and then gave you whether or not the Rams would draft this player and would not. So we're going to continue with this. We're going to continue. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. All right, so here's the deal. If you're new here, welcome. If you don't understand how this series goes and my format, well, essentially what you're looking at here is I'm going to take all of the running backs that I watched, and it's about 27 of them, and I'm going to rank them, of course, not counting Ashton Jeanty because that's pointless. So I'm not going to waste your time. He won't be there for the Rams pick. So everybody else, it's fair game. I'm going to give you why the Rams would draft him and why the Rams would not draft them. So before we dive into the prospects, the Rams run a hybrid blocking scheme, but this year I believe they're going to go back to putting an emphasis on wide zone, outside zone blocking, as signaled by kind of the re-addition of Coleman Shelton. Even though Bo Limmer fits the scheme, in my opinion, as well, I would say as anybody, I think it's more so the departure of Jonah Jackson that will lead them in that direction, as well as the departure of Cooper Kupp, because I think we're going to see more 12 personnel groupings. So with that said, you're going to need a running back, if you add one, to have the ability to work in that outside zone. The zone scheme is going to emphasize stretch play, the offensive line, or rather the ability to move laterally. So you'll be blocking an area, not just a player. And what that does is it stretches out the defense. It creates cutback lanes. So essentially, the ability to understand zone blocking is a big deal here, because if you don't understand it, if you're not a smart running back, I don't care what you bring to the table athletically, it's just not going to work out. So that is a little bit there just to give you an idea. Again, Cooper Kupp's gone, Devontae Adams is here, and while I do believe we'll see a lot of 11 personnel, I do think that will lead to them having more 12 personnel, and we'll likely see a lot of zone-heavy run schemes. So obviously, I'm going to skip Ashton Jeanty like I mentioned, but I want to start off with this. The next four running backs that you hear are what I call five-tool running backs. And what is that? Well, to be a five-tool running back, in my opinion, and this is just me, I don't think this is already out there, but to be a five-tool running back, you need pass protection ability, you need vision, you need elusiveness, pass catching ability, and home run hitting ability. Okay? So I do think there are 4 or 5 tool running backs in this draft, and one will surprise you. I could not believe how high I was on this particular player. But starting off with number 1 here, after Ashton Jeanty, of course, my RB2 is TreVeyon Henderson out of Ohio State. I did a video on him, 5'10", 202. I've talked about him numerous times. Why would the Rams draft him? He's got good body composition. He's an all-around back that complements well, skill set-wise, in my opinion, to Kyren Williams. And while also that, he's going to give you insurance if you don't end up extending him. He's an elite home run hitter. He offers the ability in the receiving game. He's got very good vision. And because of the splitting of carries with Quinshon Judkins, he has less wear and tear than some of the other backs in this draft. And he also never fumbled in the 3 college seasons that he had. He's going to be 23 this year, gives him some decent time before he naturally declines. So I think all those things considered, and the fact that, and of course he might not be there, but the fact that he's not going to be a top 10 pick in all likelihood means the Rams could draft him. Why would the Rams not draft him? Well, he's likely going to cost a first or second round pick. So that might be a little too early for the Rams to justify it, first off. The second thing is he doesn't have the best contact balance. He tends to bounce runs to the outside a lot. He focuses more on his speed, and he isn't overly patient. He's had 2 foot injuries in the previous 2 seasons, and he was fully healthy this past season, but that could play a factor. He also could be gone before their pick or picked higher than they want to spend a pick on. My comparison, and I'll give you a player comparison for each player, is Christian McCaffrey. Okay, I did the video and I said he was basically like a supercharged Tevin Coleman. I got to be honest with you, when I watch him run, he looks like Christian McCaffrey. That's all I'm going to say there. So we move on to number 2 here on this list is Omarion Hampton from North Carolina, the 6 foot, 220-pound running back, who I do actually believe is a scheme fit. He has fantastical physical build. He has great ball security. He can be a reliable workhorse if needed. He had plenty of experience handling a heavy workload. He has great vision. He's decisive. He has home run hitting ability. He wears down defenses as a power back and can pass protect as well. He provides the Rams with a franchise running back should Kyren Williams and the contract talks fall through, and he complements Kyren in the meantime, adding some power to the room, but also some breakaway speed. He could be gone as well before their pick or go higher than they want to spend on the pick. So that's why I think the Rams could draft Omarion Hampton, but why would they not draft Omarion Hampton? Limited usage in the receiving game, okay? I said he's a 5-tool running back, so he does have receiving ability, but they didn't utilize him a ton. And I see just the limited usage. I can tell you right now this guy is going to thrive in an offense that utilizes it, but that could scare away a team that he didn't have a lot of those opportunities in college. He doesn't have elite top-end speed at the level of the other backs, although it is enough to break away. And he's got a big workload, in college, coming out of college. So that's a lot of wear and tear on him. So that might be a problem down the road. My player comparison for him is lesser talented receiving Joe Mixon. Mixon, I think, is a better receiving back. And, of course, I think Omarion Hampton could end up being as good or better. But I think play style-wise, he plays very similarly to Joe Mixon. So that's what I have there. Number 3 is Quinshon Judkins, who I think is a great fit for the Rams. Ohio State running back, 6 foot, 219 pounds. This is a powerful and explosive back, a dynamic bruiser that currently can't be found on this roster. There is nobody like him on the Rams currently. He complements Kyren well and would thrive in McVay's offense, in my opinion. Tons of contact balance, a nose for the end zone, a chain mover, and a great pass protector. He gives you a little bit of everything, and because he split carries in college, he won't have as much wear and tear as others, and I think Judkins gives the Rams a franchise starter should Kyren not sign, but in the meantime, complements Kyren perfectly as a thunder and lightning combination. I think he would be gone potentially before their pick in the 3rd. Obviously, I don't think he'll go that early in the 1st, but he might also go higher than they want to spend. Now, why would they not draft him? Well, limited usage in the receiving game again. I think he clearly has it. We see it, but he was limited there. That could, turn a team away. He's also tight-hipped, not as, fluid as some of the other backs. His game speed doesn't necessarily match his testing speed. So while he ran a 4.4, I don't think he always plays like that. On film, I'd probably say more of 4.55 if I were, to be guessing on that. But that's just how I feel. So those are the reasons. And my player comparison for him is Ezekiel Elliott. So I think he's very similar to Elliott. I think he's just a very well-rounded prospect that has some elite traits. And I think he would be an absolute dynamic weapon for the Rams as soon as he joined the roster. But moving on to number 4 here is a little bit of a surprise for some of you. But I'm going to stick with the SEC here, and I'm going to go with Trevor Etienne as my 4th running back that's available for the Rams here. Out of Georgia, 5'9", $198. I understand you guys are shocked that I have him this high. But the reality of the situation is this. The guy is the jack of all trades, but the master of none. I'm going to get into it. Why would the Rams draft him? Good body composition, elusiveness. He adds juice to the running back room. He's great in pass pro when asked. He wasn't asked to do it a ton. He's going to be 21 in his rookie year. Hardly any wear and tear on him, as opposed to some other guys. Limited usage in college. Pass catching ability feels natural for him. You just see it right away. The quickness, the lateral agility, that's going to be coveted for the wide zone. He generates explosives. He has a home run threat. He has, long-term upside, in my opinion, to turn into a legit starting running back if need be. He's not going to cost as much draft capital as some of the other names, but he could end up being a better running back in the right system than some of the other names. I think this guy could be an absolute steal. I see him going in the 4th and 5th round in a lot of mocks. I ended up having as early as a 2nd round grade on this guy. Because keep in mind, not everything is necessarily about tape. I also have to find a way to project this guy long term. And Etienne's ceiling is high, man. At least I believe that. Now, why would they not draft him? Ball security is a bit of a concern. Now, I understand you guys heard that and probably just said nope. But here's the deal. He didn't fumble a ton, but he didn't touch the ball a ton. So 2 fumbles in 2024 is a lot considering. He had very limited experience. He's never had more than 150 carries in a season. Now, you can look at that one of 2 ways. If you're a positive person, you look at that and you're like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. That means he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him. But at the same time, you could also look at that and be negative and think, well, he doesn't have a lot of experience. He has a lower floor, in my opinion, but I think the ceiling is massive, especially in the Rams offense. I think he would complement Kyren well. But I think the reason why the Rams wouldn't draft him is that he has a lower floor. So they might not be willing to do that. But then they also might be because Blake Corum is there and Kyron's there. Maybe they like Corum enough to be like, you know what? Let's just grab a guy that we can just kind of slowly bring along and he'll be our future. So to me, the body composition is very similar to Kyren and Corum. So for that reason, there's not really added versatility, or not versatility, but rather diversity in the running back room. So that's something to keep in mind. My player comparison is one of my all-time favorite running backs, Brian Westbrook. So we move on here. Number 5 is going to shock you as well. I came away absolutely blown away by Syracuse running back LeQuint Allen. 6 foot, 204 pounds. He's one of the best pass protectors in the draft, receivers in the draft, at running back, natural fit. In my opinion, this guy is so good at making guys miss. He breaks tackles. He can, dodge guys. Obviously, he's got good cutting ability. He has physicality as well in that backfield. I think it would complement Kyren well. I think the draft capital cost would be incredibly low because I'm aware that I have a very high grade on LeQuint Allen to have him here at 5, which, of course, understand would put him at 6 because Genty would be number 1. But just because I have him at 5 here doesn't mean that's where he's going, obviously. I'm not an idiot. And so I think he could go late day 3 from the looks of it. And if that's the case, this guy would be a really big time steal. I think he fits today's just NFL so well. And he's not there's going to be issues here, and I'm going to get to that. But I just feel like when you get a guy right out of college that's one of the best pass protectors in the class and one of the best receiving backs and can make guys miss and break tackles, that's a good sign. But why would the Rams not draft him? Well, he lacks elite speed, so he's not going to be the game breaker. He's not going to be the breakaway home run hitter that maybe the Rams might be looking for. Maybe they're not looking for. At this point, they've never shown us the ability to really care since Todd Gurley, but really not going to break away from anybody, not going to hit the home run. Feels like a very, very high floor player. The ceiling is lower, so that could go in the Rams' favor. We'll see how that goes, but I'm unsure about the long-term potential, and I'm sure teams will be as well, especially as a 3-down back. So it's not necessarily that they wouldn't be interested in LeQuint Allen because he's not a 3-down back or doesn't have the potential, but more so because there are other guys that would have that. And you'll see, this is a deep running back class. I don't know if he necessarily has the speed to work with that. So we'll see. My comparison is a slower Rachaad White. White is a great pass protector. White is a great receiving back. Really like White because he blends a mixture. Of course, I say slower because this guy ran very fast, but he kind of blends a mixture of make a guy miss stuff, but also running right through your face type stuff. So LeQuint Allen from Syracuse, definitely check out his tape if you haven't already. Really like this player. Rachaad White, but slower is my comp. Number 6 here is Kaleb Johnson from Iowa, 6'1", 224. This is a guy that broke onto the scene this past year, and people had in the first round, no doubt about it, tons of mock drafts. A lot of people had him going to the Rams. Well, things have kind of eased down, and I don't think he's going to go that high. But Why would the Rams draft him? He's got a great build for the position. I just mentioned that. He's a powerful runner, took on a big workload at Iowa, true feature back. He has vision, tackle breaking ability, could be a nightmare for defenses. He offers a contrasting style to Kyren Williams that I think would complement him pretty well and would be a legit starter potentially if need be. And what I mean by that is, of course, if Kyren left. Now, not to draft. Why would they not draft him, right? The agility isn't there. He's just not agile. He doesn't really make guys miss. He really runs through them. Kind of stiff, so that's a big thing. He's not great in pass pro despite the mass. I mean, when you're 6'1", 224 pounds, I expect you to at least be average in pass protection. It's not great. Could he get better? Sure. NFL coaching would help. But that could also be a reason he doesn't get drafted. So that would be a major liability, and I wouldn't be able to trust him on the field, covering Matthew Stafford, who's 37 years of age. They need to make sure that they know when Kyren comes off, the next guy up is going to be able to block for, Stafford. He doesn't offer much in the receiving game, doesn't have the breakaway speed. The team is lacking breakaway speed, so I just don't ultimately believe this is going to be a great fit. My comp was Jordan Howard. I think this is a good prospect, so don't get it twisted. I just don't know if the Rams will be interested. At 7 here, Devin Neal had to have a Jayhawk, 5'11", 213 out of KU. Devin Neal is a stud. Why would the Rams draft him? Well, he runs with contact balance, really good contact balance, power, and elusiveness. He's tough. He's a physical runner, would fit in nicely with their zone scheme, highly productive, a leader at KU, a guy that had plenty of offers to go to all these different schools. He never left KU, so guy has a loyalty, I'll tell you that much. Really good pass protector, true nose for the end zone, chain mover, would give the Rams really another really good player like Kyren Williams and Blake Corum, similar type of player. I think that kind of gave it away when I was saying, oh yeah, nose for the end zone, chain mover, he has contact balance, he's tough, like physical runner, pass protection. Yeah, that gave it away. But either way, the point being is that he'd be another really good player, but he has more elusiveness, or a little bit more elusiveness than Kyren, can make guys miss, has some really good moves in the open field, and he definitely displayed the receiving ability. I don't think Kansas totally took advantage of it. I am definitely the type of person to say that because I watched every single game of his at KU, and I don't think they took enough advantage of him in the receiving game, especially not this year. The year prior, when Andy Kotelnicki was there, who ended up being last year's Penn State offensive coordinator, they used him more in that regard, but they didn't this past year, in my opinion, use him enough. His eyes and feet are really well connected. I think it makes him a really decisive runner. He has great vision. He's got a plan every time he touches the ball. But all those things considered, why would they not draft him? Well, I think it makes a lot of sense why they wouldn't draft him. As much as I like Devin Neal, he doesn't have home run hitting speed, so that's lacking on the roster, and you don't add to it really. He has lots of wear and tear. I mean, we're talking over 700 carries, limited usage in the receiving game. Now, again, we know what he can do, but this past year was limited. And very simply put, he's way too much like everyone else in the running back room. He's just like Kyren. He's just like Blake Corum. There's just not really any sort of deviation there. So I love, and I'll tell you right now, I love Devin Neal, but yeah. What was my comp? More elusive Kyren Williams. Shocker, I know. Number 8 is Kyle Monangai. I just really like this guy. From Rutgers, 5'8", 211. You guys told me to check him out, so I did, and I really liked this player. I thought fumbles were a problem for the Rams last year, but Monangai never fumbled in college. His ball security is the best in the draft, from what I've looked at anyway. And the goal line short yardage option, I mean, he's clearly there. He's consistent. He's an efficient runner. He eats and absorbs contact. He keeps the legs churning. I think he could take a significant load off of Kyren Williams. He's one of the best pass protecting backs in the draft as well. So you talk about the things that you really focus on: ball security, pass pro, making guys miss, dragging guys along, having the power, leg drive, all of that. He has a lot of the things that you really covet in a running back position. A lot of trust here could be given to Monangai, and he likely wouldn't cost a ton in draft capital either. But I could see a team having like a third-round grade on him. I don't know if they'd pick him in the third round. It's kind of all over the place. I'm not really sure, but he's a very talented back nonetheless. Here's why the Rams wouldn't draft him. He's got limited receiving usage, really limited. He doesn't have elite athleticism. He ran a 4.6 40. Do I really care? Kind of, I guess. I'm really trying. If I'm the Rams and I draft a running back, I'm trying to find a game breaker, home run hitter type. Like the idea of like Kyren does his thing and then you could bring in like a Davon A-chain level guy that just absolutely burns the whole defense. That'd be great. He's not going to have the breakaway speed to hit the home run, guys. He's just not. I really like Monangai, but I just don't see that. So that is lacking on the roster, and the dynamism just isn't there. So it doesn't entirely diversify the room, but Sean McVay might know this player. His comp is Alfred Morris. Number 9 is Damien Martinez. I could not believe how much I like this guy's film out of Miami. 6 foot, 217. I do believe he's a scheme fit. He's physical. This is why the Rams will draft him. He's physical. He's strong, really strong build for the position. He breaks tackles. He carries defenders with him. He's a bruiser, wears down a defense over the course of a game, which I think has some serious benefits. Imagine you start the game with Damien Martinez, and he's just knocking defensive players over left and right. And by the way, you could do this with Monangai as well. And then you put in Kyren Williams, and he just is like your closer at the end of the game. They just can't stop him. The defense is exhausted. That's where Damien Martinez could really come in here. He had a great, really big workload. He delivered on it. Works well in short yardage. Isn't just limited to that, though. He's an improving pass protector as well. Offers the power to complement Kyren's finesse running style. So that's how I feel, in regards to that. But what about why the Rams wouldn't draft him? Well, he's improving, but he still has a long way to go in pass pro. Very inconsistent to be relied on anyway. He doesn't have the best speed. He tested well, but I'm not sure he plays at a 4.51, if I'm being honest with you, and that's what he tested. He's very limited in the receiving game, which doesn't really differentiate from the running back room enough. He takes a bit to get to the top speed. He might go way earlier than the Rams are willing to take him. So those are the reasons why he probably won't get drafted by the Rams. My comp was Najee Harris without the receiving ability. Najee Harris could be a 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, he is really good with the ball in his hands out of the backfield as a pass catcher. But as far as a pure runner, Najee Harris, that's what I saw there. Number 10 here is RJ Harvey. Now, he'd be 11, of course, with Ashton Genty, so he'd miss my top 10. I can't wait to post that and have people like, oh, so why do you hate RJ Harvey? Well, I don't hate anybody, but I'll explain. So RJ Harvey, UCF, 5'8", 205. I think he's a scheme fit, but there's some caveats here, okay? First off, to draft him, why would they draft him? Good body composition, experienced player, highly productive, generated tons of missed tackles, short area burst, quick twitch ability, natural hands receiver, can run more routes than just a slip screen, has home run hitting ability, good vision, patience, great contact balance, finishes runs with violence. I mean, he has a lot going for him, right? There is enough variance from Kyren Williams that I believe Harvey would complement him well. But why would they not draft him? He's going to be 24 this year, okay? So that is, in itself, I think that makes sense. He's also he's an older back. He doesn't have great short yardage power, okay? Really needs to build a head full of steam to utilize his power. He is a huge liability in pass pro. And that could write him right off the board for me and for the Rams. As much as I liked his game as a runner, he was bad in pass pro. And I don't know how much better he'll get with NFL coaching. It just was not great. I'd imagine he'd improve, but some guys just never get better at that. And that's just the way it is. The Rams, simply put, just could not put him back there to protect Matthew Stafford. It would be a nightmare. He bounces runs to the outside far too often, which is another thing I think that they might not like. The limited ceiling, of course. He doesn't really provide great insurance to take over from Kyren Williams if he leaves because he's just about the same age. That's an issue there. And then you look, he has the ACL injury on his resume. I mean, I know it was back in 2021, but that's a little concerning. He's fumbled 9 times in 3 years, so he averages 3 fumbles per season. That's a little too rich for my blood. So, comparison is DeAndre Swift. I just think that is a really good comparison. Swift is not the best pass protector, does work in the receiving game, is a good runner, is explosive. That was the comp for me. Number 11 here is Breshard Smith. Now, Breshard Smith, 5'10", $196. This is a guy out of SMU that I've talked about a lot on this channel. He did miss the top 10, but why would the Rams draft him? Elite long speed, electric playmaker. As a running back, he has a former receiving background at Miami. That has him ready to run a full route tree as a running back, which I think puts him in kind of this rare position where, I mean, I don't want to say rare because, I mean, this happens. I mean, Memphis did this with Antonio Gibson. This happens. Running back, wide receiver, all that, right? So, yeah, I don't want to act like that doesn't happen. But with that said, full route tree as running back puts you a leg above the rest in that. He generated top 5 explosive plays at the position in the FBS. He's got return value, very durable, does not wear down. He's got good contact balance. He fights for every yard. He just turned 22. I think he complements Kyren Williams really well because I think he's a lot different than Williams. And he would offer that 4.3 speed that could just absolutely burn a team. The receiving background also allows him to be utilized in the slot and as a gadget player on jet sweeps as well. So I think there's a lot to like here with Breshard Smith, but why would the Rams not draft him? He doesn't have the best body composition for the position, okay? That is a concern. Does he hold up in the NFL? Well, that remains to be seen. But he's still a bit raw at the position. He's still learning. He doesn't have the patience or the feel at running back that you'd like to see, but that comes with the territory of being a wide receiver convert to running back. He doesn't wait for his blockers at all. He just takes off and runs. He's very underdeveloped as a blocker. He's not bad, but he's not going to cut it if Kyren has to come out of the game. So he has a tendency to bounce out, runs to the outside. He trusts his speed too much. Doesn't really work, in my opinion anyway. When you trust your speed and you don't have that patience, that feel for the game, I just don't feel like these type of players work out the next level. Immediately, first name that came to my mind, thinking about speed, trusting athleticism, trusting you over the offensive line and having patience, Donnell Pumphrey out of San Diego State. This is not a comparison, but this is just a reminder. Pumphrey was supposed to be this star, but the problem was, just like Dre Archer, these guys really struggled to adapt, even though they were really explosive in college, because they didn't have that patience. They didn't have that feel. You're playing running back in college, it's a lot different than the NFL. So my player comparison, I swear to God, this is perfect, is Kenneth Gainwell. Okay, that's who he is. I am not going to take any questions. Cam Skattebo is number 12. I ended up liking him way more than I expected out of Arizona State. 5'9", 219. Why would the Rams draft him? The body composition of the running back is so perfect for the position. Okay, 5'9", 219. He's not the tallest, but man, this guy is hard to bring down. He is a brick and mortar. The man just doesn't go down. He had over 60 missed tackles forced. He has great receiving ability. He would fit in the zone scheme like a glove. Short yardage chain mover, nose for the end zone. Oh, God, am I talking about Kyren Williams again? I guess I am. Offers a level of power. That's where I'm not. To the running back room that, I wouldn't say is currently on it. I mean, Blake Corum has some power to him, but I wouldn't call him a power runner. I'd say he's more of a balanced runner. Heavy workload experience. Cam Skattebo knows what it's like to carry a team. Arizona State ran through this guy. So there's that. He has excellent footwork. He's got great burst, great leg drive. He's going to keep that pile moving, and he's just going to absolutely wear down defenses. And again, this is where it comes in, like where I could almost see the Rams going in this direction. I think coaches are going to absolutely love him. I don't know how much scouts are going to love him. I don't know how much GMs will love him, but coaches will be all over this guy. I'm telling you that right now. Here's why they wouldn't draft him. There's durability concerns. Excuse me. Durability concerns. What do I mean by that? Because it's not that he got hurt. It's more so I don't believe his play style is going to translate to the NFL. Now, I think he'll be successful. Like, I think he'll be able to actually play in the NFL. My concern is I think over time, that running style is going to wear him down. It's just, you can't run like that. Remember Peyton Hillis? I think he's similar to Peyton Hillis in that regard. Not my comp, but I'm just telling you, Hillis was really good that 1 year, got on the Madden cover, and what happened to him? Well, he couldn't run the way he ran. Okay, that's not a sustainable way of running the football. It's just not in the NFL, especially when guys are getting stronger and faster. So, like I said, his game is just not sustainable for a long time. He doesn't have the best ball security either. I was surprised by that. I thought this guy would have more security than that, but he doesn't have the home run hitting speed either. So there's not really kind of that variance in the running back room. He shows effort in pass pro, but this guy, it's just funny, man. He's just trying to kill you in pass pro. He's not, technically sound at all. He's just trying to WWE spear you. I forget who said that. It was either Hayden or Josh on Underdog. It cracked me up because I saw it immediately. After they said that, I was like, oh my God, I can't unsee that. He literally tries to spear the crap out of people, right? He's not really protecting. If he goes for the cut block and he misses, well, you're out of luck. So that's something that I have a little concern with, and I think the Rams would as well. Goes for the big hit every time. He doesn't really make sure the guy's blocked out of the play, but it is funny to watch, and I do appreciate it because the effort is there. Just the ceiling isn't that high with him. My comparison for him, you might have forgotten about him, former 1,000-yard rusher 1 year, Liddell Betts. Just so much reminded me of him. All right, number 13 is Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. You guys already know he was in my mock draft 2.0, and I think this is a guy the Rams already met with. They really like, and I think he makes a lot of sense. He's 5'9", 204, compact running back body, good athleticism. He's a dynamic runner, natural fit in the zone scheme. I think he's got great cutting ability, consistently productive in college at Auburn. Of course, we know Les Snead's connection to Auburn as well. Has potential as a receiving threat. He shows elusiveness and home run hitting ability, not currently found on the roster. He also exhibits the ability to break tackles and displays the power during and after the runs. The Rams met with him. He fits the offense. He complements Kyren well. To me, the chance of him taking over down the road is there. And he also has that return ability as well. So crazy gym work ethic, by the way. Does all sorts of deadlifting 600 pounds. He benched 21 reps. I love when my running back has over 20 reps on the bench. Not that it's the end-all be-all. I just like it. Now, why would the Rams not draft him? Well, he wasn't utilized a ton in the receiving game, and he has, I'd say, average to below average pass protection ability, so that could keep him off the field. He had 3 fumbles in 2024, so that's a little concerning. He doesn't really have the stop and start speed. So what I noticed on tape is he slows down and then it takes him a while to build it back up again. And that vision, while good most of the time, is still a little inconsistent. And this guy likes to shoot out like the rock and roller coaster. And there are times where it's like, just have a little more patience, right? My comp is Tahj Spears, just not in the receiving game. Spears out of Tulane is one of my guys. Okay, he's on the Titans now, but he was one of my guys, and I kind of see that type of playing style. Moving on to number 14 is Ollie Gordon, the second out of Oklahoma State, 6'1", 226. Why would the Rams draft him? Well, he was the top running back in the country in 2023. You know, you get him cheap now, you feel good about it. Why do you get him cheap? Because of his down year. He had a down year this year. He's got elite vision. He's a big body, really hard to bring down. 6'1", 226, like I said. He broke plenty of tackles. He would add a power element to complement Kyron, and he offers a receiving ability and a decent pass protector, in my opinion, to boot. Now, why would they not draft him? He had a down year in 2024. I still think that's going to cause him to fall. He was also arrested for DUI, which that could also cause him to fall. He has inconsistent ball carrying technique. So while he didn't fumble a ton in college, I did notice he kind of carries it a little high. And I just don't think that's translatable to the NFL. That translates into fumbles, actually. So the ball security is a little bit in question at the next level. He's got tight hips, so he's not really overly agile. And he doesn't have the long speed to threaten the home run hitting ability. My comparison is Cedric Benson from the Bears. I see so much of him, so I went with Cedric Benson there. Number 15, DJ Giddens from Kansas State, 6 foot 212. This is a superior athlete at the position. Why would the Rams draft him? He's productive, scheme versatile, right? Showed ability in the receiving game. He's quick in the short area. He has pass protection ability that is improving. He's getting better with. He's displaying patience, allowing his blocks to actually hit. He has good ball security. He's a workhorse. I mean, there are a lot of things, right? I would say he varies from Kyron in a lot of different ways, and that would definitely add that complementary ability there. He's still young, has room to grow, but the Rams wouldn't draft him because he's an inconsistent decision maker. He doesn't have the decisiveness that you're looking for. He doesn't play up to the 4.4 speed. I know he ran a 4.4. I've seen that a lot. I don't see him playing at 4.4 consistently. He doesn't possess great contact balance. This is a guy that goes down on arm tackles. It bothers me because if he could break those arm tackles, he would be so good. And we're probably talking about a second round talent if he would just add more strength in the core area. He's still not a great pass protector. Like I said, he's improving, but still not great. Doesn't have a great build. It's very lanky, not really what you're looking for at running back. You want more mass, you want leg drive, all that good stuff. He doesn't have a lot of power in his game. Like, even though he's 6 feet and has, 200 plus pounds on him, you just don't see the power in his game. And I just don't know if he'd be trusted on the field enough due to the lack of pass pro. So those are the reasons why the Rams wouldn't draft him. My comparison is Carolina Panther running back Chuba Hubbard. Number 16, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. And I already know there's going to be people in the comment section like, how do you have him so low? Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, 5'8", 200 pounds, really good movement skills. He has, he's an explosive player. He really is. He's got great lateral agility. I think he could fit in nicely on the outside zone scheme. However, I do want to add this little caveat real quick. He does have better inside zone vision than outside, okay? He has great home run hitting ability. I think he could complement Kyron in that regard. Legit potential in the receiving game. Willing pass protector. Shows the effort. Does a good job of manipulating his speed on longer runs. Makes guys miss. However, there are still some reasons why the Rams shouldn't draft Dylan Sampson and why they wouldn't. He has deficiencies in pass protection. Really struggles with his technique. Like I said, he's going to put in the effort, but on film, he doesn't have the technique, the eyes, the discipline. It's just not there. So obviously NFL coaching will help, but that is a decent speed bump here before you jump on the train. He also has ball security issues. He had 4 fumbles in 2024. Another issue. Really struggles with an occasional drop here and there in the receiving game, so that's something to keep in mind. He doesn't really offer any power, so doesn't really finish runs, doesn't fall forward. The vision isn't really the best on the outside, and I just don't know how well that Tennessee offense is going to translate to the next level for him. He has the slighter frame. I think that could be a problem durability-wise at the next level. And I also think he could go much higher. So that would also be why the Rams wouldn't draft him. My player comparison, I can't unsee it. The way he runs is like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. All right, number 17 is a player that I really liked watching. Wish I could have put him higher. This is the way it worked out. Corey Kiner from Cincinnati, okay? LSU guy, decided to play at Cincinnati because he wanted to come home, right? 5'9", 209. Why would they draft him? Why would the Rams draft him? Well, he's got a strong frame. He's a downhill style runner. He can really exploit the holes in defenses with that decisiveness. We talked about the lack of decisiveness earlier. This guy knows what he's doing. He's got great contact balance. He just doesn't want to go down. Yeah, I think he forced over 80 missed tackles this past year. So really, really powerful running ability. Add something to complement Kyron with. Hardworking pass protector. Has a lot of production. However, why would they not draft him? He doesn't have breakaway speed. That's going to be the main thing why he ends up going probably on day 3 when this guy does have at times day 2 tape. He's very limited in the receiving game. Just wasn't really utilized much. Might not be the type of back the Rams would go after due to the speed, in my opinion. And he's just not great in pass pro. He's willing. He shows the effort, high effort. He's just not great. So those are the reasons. Isaiah Crowell, if you guys remember him from the Browns and some other teams, that was my comp for him. Number 18 is Tahj Brooks, who I came away really impressed with out of Texas Tech. You have 5'9", 214, Tahj Brooks, really good size for the position, forces missed tackles galore, really hard to bring down. He's going to drag defenders with him. He's consistent. He diagnoses the weaknesses in the defense and just attacks, man. It really just shows receiving ability. He's a good pass protector. He's physical at the point of attack in pass pro. And I think his power would complement Kyron well. But you know where this is going because he wouldn't be 18 if it wasn't going this direction. Why would they not draft him? Because he doesn't have great speed. He was limited in receiving. Really shows too much patience as a runner, believe it or not. And he doesn't have that home run hitting ability. And, this guy had a monster workload, huge. So I think that carries concern. He had a lot of wear and tear. My comp is a running back I used to really enjoy watching on the Minnesota Vikings, Chester Taylor. All right, number 19, Bhayshul Tuten from Virginia Tech, 5'9", 206. I know a lot of you guys like Bhayshul Tuten. I didn't come away as impressed as everybody else, but I do like him. Here's the thing. I'm going to make this very clear. I like pretty much every running back I've viewed. I very rarely dislike running backs. I find it really hard because I feel like everybody has something to offer. My favorites, though, the cream that rises to the top, are the guys that really focus on the nuance aspects of the running back position. Guys that are really good in pass pro. Guys that are really good vision-wise, right? Guys that hold on to the football, that offer the ability in the passing game, maybe have a little bit of a route tree. Those are the guys that I really like. So I don't really have anybody I dislike in this draft at running back, at least that I watched. The guys that I didn't watch, I'll never know. So, and I watched a lot. I've watched too much. Anyway, Bhayshul Tuten, why would the Rams draft him? He's productive. He's explosive. He has home run hitting ability. We know the 4.3 speed, right? He has a good body for the position. He works well in the receiving game. He's got good contact balance, pad level. He's quick twitch, right? He's got pop behind his pads. I mean, Tuten has long speed, explosiveness. He would complement, in my opinion, he would complement Kyron very well. 23 years old, gives him enough time in the league, fits the zone running scheme. There's a catch, though, right? Why is he 19? Well, I'll tell you. The Rams would not draft Bhayshul Tuten because he has inconsistencies as a processor. Okay, his vision isn't always the best. It's very up and down. He doesn't display a lot of patience. He sees, he goes. Okay, sometimes you need to let blocks kind of, work themselves out. Doesn't always do that. He tries to bounce a bunch of runs to the outside, which I really don't like. He fumbled 9 times in 2 years. Now you have ball security issues, which isn't great. He had an ankle issue this past year, so that could also be another reason why he's not drafted. He is not, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, not a good pass protector. So I'm just unsure he has what it takes to be relied on as a franchise running back and even as Kyren Williams' backup because of the lack of pass pro and, of course, the fumbling. So a lot of good stuff, but there's some bad there. CJ Spiller from the Buffalo Bills is my comparison. Number 20, Raheim Rocket Sanders from South Carolina. Why would the Rams draft him? He's quick, he's explosive, and he's fast. He has decisive build, right? He's a 6'1", 217-pound guy, good contact balance, natural hands, offers upside in the receiving game. Former wide receiver, by the way. Love those wide receiver converts. Good at making guys miss. But why would the Rams not draft him? He's got an injury past. He's inconsistent production-wise. He doesn't really use his size to run with power, right? He doesn't run with the 6 foot, 217-pound frame. He's trying to avoid it, which is kind of weird how he tries to avoid contact. He has a lot of work to do in pass pro. He had 9 fumbles in his career. Ball security is an issue. So those are the things there. My comp for him is former Patriots draft pick Lawrence Maroney. Okay, you probably forgot about him, but I did not. So, yeah. Number 21 is Marcus Yarns from Delaware, 5'11", $193. Why would the Rams draft him? Well, he's explosive. He has receiving ability. He can line up in the slot. He could be used as a gadget guy, some decent upside. I think he'd complement Kyren pretty well. Breakaway home run hitting ability. But why would they not like him? Well, he's raw. His top competition, there are concerns with playing at Delaware. He has weak pass protection, very weak. He has ball security issues. He had 3 fumbles this past year. My comp for him is former New York Jet Leon Washington. Now moving on to 22, Jaden Blue from Texas, 5'9", $196. I had people ask me, you were talking about Jaden Blue, and now you're not talking about him. So what gives? Well, I didn't do my homework yet. I had looked a little bit at the running backs. Jaden Blue caught my eye, and I was like, that explosiveness, sign me up. Hold up a sec. Why would the Rams draft him, though? I'll tell you. He's explosive, 4.3 speed, home run hitter, receiving ability, right? Played at Texas. We all know that. But he's quick. He's elusive. He complement Kyren well in that regard. However, there's reasons why they wouldn't draft him. His vision's average to below average, right? He's unlikely to be relied on early. He's still green. Like, what I mean by that, a lot of room to grow. But that might not be a good thing if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Really just a terrible pass protector. Not good at all. Ball security concerns are there. Very limited upside, in my opinion. I hate saying that because he's raw, but I just don't know with that frame. Like, is he ever going to be really good in pass pro? Am I always going to have to worry about the ball security? He fumbles a lot. I don't know. I like Blue. I think he's like Darren Sproles. That's my comp. Darren Sproles with ball security issues because Sproles didn't fumble nearly as much. Number 23 is Ja'Cory Croskey-Merrit from Arizona. I have the Rams drafting him based on his solid vision, short yardage ability. He's got good ball security, great footwork, stop and start ability, and he's a high-effort player that has good contact balance. But I also think the Rams would not draft him because he has no passing game upside. He's a 24-year-old rookie. He's lacking elite athleticism. His upside is lower than others, and he barely played in 2024, so I don't really know what I'm getting. Ronald Jones II is my comparison for him. Then we move on to 24. Speaking of USC, how about Woody Marks from USC? Fun tape to watch. This is one of the best receiving backs you will find in this draft, period. He's got a good frame, great vision. He's tough. He's a great route runner. He finishes runs. He has fluid hips. He's He has good ball security, scheme versatile, all that. But why would they not draft him? Lots of wear and tear. Okay, over 800 touches in college, not ideal. He's going to be a 25-year-old rookie. So Kyren Williams' age, and Kyren Williams already has 2,000-yard seasons under his belt, not ideal. He doesn't really break away, doesn't have any big plays. He forces runs to the outside too frequently, and he doesn't have the best contact balance either. So I like Woody. I don't know if he's a huge fit for the Rams. My comp for him was Ray Davis of the Buffalo Bills. Number 25, as we wrap it up with these last two here, Jordan James from Oregon. A lot of people like him. He's been in the top 10 a lot, but I don't see it, right? Why would they draft him? He's got good ball security. He's got good frame for the position. He's a tough runner. He's hard to bring down. He breaks tackles, and he's got elusiveness, and he's got some vision. But why would they not draft him? Well, explosiveness-wise, it's not really there. Very limited. Doesn't have breakaway speed, minimal receiving production, and not at all reliable in pass pro. My comparison is Dameon Pierce, who I still believe is on the Houston Texans. Last but not least, we have Kaleb Mullings. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I apologize if it's not. Out of Michigan. This is a big-bodied former linebacker convert because we had to keep you on your toes. A lot of receivers. That was too obvious. Went with a linebacker convert here. Goal line, short yardage value is there. He's a punishing back. Broke tons of tackles. His first true year as a starter at Michigan. He's a willing pass protector, really trying to learn how to be a running back. But why would the Rams not draft him? He's raw. He might not be able to contribute this year. He hardly has any receiving ability, bad technique in pass pro, and really just a one-dimensional runner that is going to be limited to north and south short yardage runs. Really just don't see the great speed there. Ran a 4.62. I see that on film. Mullings is cool because you don't always see linebackers convert to running backs. But that said, because he was a linebacker in college, we're not talking about necessarily high school, right? So that said, there's just too much there. And so for that reason, I don't really see him as a fit. And that's that. My player comparison for him was Hassan Haskins. So that is that. But anyway, we wrap it up with this. And I appreciate you guys watching all the way through. And basically, I came away after doing all this and ranking them. I want TreVeyon Henderson. That has not changed. I like Quinshon Judkins more than I thought I was going to, which is cool. But I came away really wanting Trevor Etienne. I think Jarquez Hunter is probably where they'll go, but they've already had an eye on Georgia football before. Trevor Etienne, I think, fits. And the thing I like about it is you address the long speed, the home run hitting ability, 21 years old, so you get a young player. Like I could see the Rams wanting to go young since they have older guys that they keep drafting. So if they went young, they went upside, but they got this guy in the 4th, or say they trade down in the 5th round, and they got Trevor Etienne. I think that would be one of the steals of the draft. I do. I think this guy could be a absolute stud. And maybe I'm way too high on him, and I get really high on random players. But when I was watching Etienne, I'm like, okay, it's not because of the last name. I don't give a rip that his brother is in the NFL. Yes, his brother is Travis. I care about the player. And when I see limited opportunities in pass pro and he actually looks good, like you don't normally see that. When I see the breakaway speed, when I see the ability to make guys miss, pass catching a bit, I think this guy could be a gem. We'll see. But those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I'm really curious. I'm probably going to get flamed, but really appreciate you guys watching all the way through. It wasn't easy to make this because I had been working on this for a while, and that's why videos don't go out as quick, because I'm trying to make a video for each position before the draft. I only have until Thursday. So, yeah. Anyway, well, you're still here, so be sure to check out my other videos on my channel. Got plenty of draft videos, but that's going to do it. Like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the nine. So definitely check it out over on The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.